Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. I'm sure all of you have plans for this week as this is a Thanksgiving weekend. I really appreciate all of you joining the webinar today. Welcome to another insightful session of the NuAIg Webinar series, Transforming the Aging Industry with Artificial Intelligence. Today, the topic will be driving value with data-driven insights and decision-making. I am Shreya, Marketing Specialist at NuAIg, and I'm thrilled to walk you through today's discussion. Before we dive into the agenda, I want to let you know that at the end of our conversation, we'll be opening the floor for Q&A. We encourage you all to submit your questions via the Q&A tab on the screen, and we'll do our best to address them during the Q&A session. Today, we have Sriraj, one of our experts at NuAIg, who will guide us through our webinar. We have an exciting agenda lined up covering various aspects of how AI and data analytics are reshaping the landscape of long-term care industry. We will be delving into the topics such as AI-driven analytical dashboards, different KPIs and matrices that can help kickstart implementation, NuAIg's expertise in implementing AI in analytical focus on benefiting the LTPSC industry, and a case study published by Leading Edge Cast. But before we jump into the details, let me give you a brief overview of who we are and what we do at NuAIg. NuAIg empowers senior care providers to deliver a value-driven experience to their residents and make back-office staff and caregivers more efficient through a suite of artificial intelligence technologies. Our laser-sharp focus on the long-term care industries allows us to understand the elements, components, functions, and nuances that are a part of our day-to-day activities in this industry. Speaking of which, let's talk about the 6 basic elements of this industry. Residents living in the communities, employees and caregivers working to improve their lives, payers or insurance companies funding the treatments, providers or doctors delivering value-based care, donors contributing to the betterment of seniors, and government regulatory bodies creating different regulations and compliance for the communities. Now, each of these components provides a huge volume of data, and that's exactly what we are here to discuss today. How AI and data analytics can help harness this data to drive value, gain insights, and make informed decisions. Without further ado, I'll pass the microphone to Sriraj to take us through the exciting session and information we have prepared for you. Sriraj, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Shreya. Thanks for the quick introduction. So like Shreya mentioned, these are the 6 major components, and each of these components, in a senior care organization provides a huge amount of data. And to handle each of these entities, there are certain departments and functions which take care of the day-to-day operations. So I'll just take you through the, typical software ecosystem in a senior care provider organization. So this is how a typical software ecosystem looks like. You can see that there are different functions here. We initially have the customer relationship management, where we use softwares like Enquire. Then we have your EMR and EHR department, which uses softwares like PCC, NetHealth, Matrix Care. The information then flows into the finance department, which uses softwares like Oracle, Infos, and Square9. We also have another quadrant that has human resources software like UKG, Altipro, and NetLearn. We again also have software for marketing and analytics like Google Analytics, Agora Pulse, and we also use software like Bloomerang and Papercut for operations. So one quick thing I think that comes to everybody's mind when we see this is there are a lot of software systems that typical senior care provider uses. And these software systems, they on a daily basis collect huge amount of data, and handling this data becomes a huge challenge. So one of the major challenges that the leadership today faces is how do you handle data across these disparate systems. That is where analytical dashboards actually come to the rescue. So these dashboards, they provide real-time insights. They collate data and present it in one centralized view from various data sources. And since data is refreshed regularly, you have real-time insights coming in, which enable you to make data-driven decisions. Every time you take a decision, it is generally backed by strong data set that will give you confidence in terms of driving required organizational changes. Once you have such infrastructure in place, you will notice that your functional efficiency will improve, and moreover it brings in transparency by tracking various key performance indicators that are critical to a function. Moreover, these dashboards are also very useful to the top level management because they help the top level management make better strategic plans to take their organization further. Most of all the key performance indicators in this dashboard, they are focused on the long-term care industry, and we've actually seen these KPIs being tracked by various senior care organizations and actually help them improve their functional performance. In the next few slides, I'll take you through a list of KPIs. The list is not exhaustive. In our experience, we felt that these are some critical KPIs which organizations, when they start tracking, can see a huge improvement in their functional performance. In finance, we have metrics like pending and overdue invoices. We also look at the age of these invoices and the budgets and period balances so that they can take corrective action if at all the budget is overutilized or underutilized. In human resources, we have metrics like employee turnover rate and the cost per hire, your therapist productivity and efficiency, and also the employee referral rate. In operations, we track certain metrics like your total current census and admissions, the census trends across various service lines, and also the revenues by facility along with the patient wait time. At the bottom, you must have noticed we also have software systems that each of these department uses. So we can connect to these software systems to extract data. We have some more metrics here from the foundation department. Here we usually track the donation amount across various periods in time. We also look at the donor mix and see how different campaigns are also performing. Then in marketing, we look at the conversion rate, the average customer lifetime value, and the sales cycle length. And lastly, in care quality, which is a department that is more focused on the resident, we look at the patient safety incidents, the readmission rates, the mortality rates, surgical site infections, and etc. So you might like even for these different departments, we have a block of software systems. So across these departments, we can connect multiple software systems together, extract data, and then create insightful dashboards. So here we have an example of finance dashboard. This is typically used by it has all the metrics that will help a finance head or an operation head to look at the data and take quick decisions. I'll just go over to an actual live dashboard, which is functional. So I'll just reshare my screen. So this is the dashboard, a finance dashboard, which clearly summarizes the invoice status in your organization. We have various slices at the top that will help you analyze the data at a deeper level. This dashboard kind of talks about the number of pending invoices, the overdue invoices, and also breaks up the pending and overdue invoices by building, department, and vendor. For instance, I can just, if I want to select a specific building, I can just click on the building slicer, select the required buildings, and then look at data for only those specific buildings. This I can also do with selected vendors. Maybe for these two vendors, I just want to these two buildings, I just want to look at one specific vendor. So this kind of gives a summary of what's happening with this specific vendor in these two buildings. You can also, look at the pending invoices status, and here it shows 3 different statuses which are pending at 3 different levels. You can even reach out to these particular approver levels so that your invoice processing gets much faster. So in finance, we have a lot of screens. However, I'll just take you through a couple of them. This is one live example of one of the screens in the finance dashboard. I'll just go back to the presentation to share a few more screens. So in finance, apart from the pending summary, we also have accounts payable. So this basically gives the financial obligations of a senior care provider. Here you can look at the account payable amount. We can also look at the account payable which is due by month. And more importantly, we also have accounts payable classified into various buckets. So these buckets tell you how your accounts payable have been aging. So if you'd like to, take action on the account payables that have been aging for a long time, you just click on this small bar, which then gives you details about all the documents that are specific to this particular bar, and then take action accordingly. Again, similar to the previous dashboard, we have slices at the top that will help you analyze data on different dimensions. Next, this is the census dashboard. Here, like I said, we track census and admissions. So this gives the census and admissions at any point in time. We can also choose certain date ranges so that we get trends within these particular date ranges. Apart from this, the census and admission is also broken down by hospital, by payer and service line. We can also see that these numbers are broken down by transaction type. At the right bottom corner, we have the trends of census and admissions. So this will help you basically understand how your admissions and census have been and help you plan your staffing needs and marketing strategies better. In the next screen, we have one more screen of the census dashboard. This gives a bird's eye view of what's happening across your facility, the number of in your community, the number of facilities, the units, the rooms, the beds, and the revenue. We also have the monthly average and daily average revenue. We then also look at the revenue, which revenue performance by each of your facilities. And in the bottom, we have a revenue trend that is occurring across your community. Now, if you want to look at a particular facility, you can use this slicer here, which can select a particular facility and then give you details on that particular facility. Apart from that, we have the revenue facility wise, and here we also have service line wise, like memory care, healthcare, and assisted living. So this dashboard, gives a clear idea of where your organization is heading in terms of its revenue performance. Here's another interesting dashboard. So this is one screen from the foundation's dashboard. So this dashboard screen gives a view of what's happening in your foundations department. It shows the number of donors you have across years and also gives a breakup based on whether they are first time donors and if they are active and if they are also repetitive. So this will help you, take better action on each type of these donors. And we also have donor mix here, which classifies the donors into different types based on their behavior. At the bottom, there's a waterfall chart which talks about how your donations have been growing or degrowing. Moreover, we also have donors by status here, where we classify donors into different groups. We can look at the funds raised by different groups and then understand which group has been more effective in terms of raising funds, and then reshape our communication strategy so that our efforts are more targeted and the conversion rate is higher, so as to get the optimal amount of donations. Here, this is a human resource. We have a human resources dashboard. This is mainly used by HR employees, which who's handling multiple requests from fellow employees. These requests are generally categorized into change requests, leave of absence requests, and termination requests. And we have the status of these requests also, which are classified into approved and different levels of pending and rejected. So the HR manager, can click on each of these bars to see the live real-time data in a table at the bottom, and even reach out to specific approvers so as to get the request processed in a much at a much faster pace. Moreover, we have this request trend, which shows the requests that have been coming into your department. This will help you understand your request trends, and it will be a critical input in helping you understand and take measures that will neither keep your department either overstaffed or understaffed. Moving on, this is one dashboard screen that is more resident centric. This dashboard gives a summary of all the incidents that are occurring at your facility. So it even has the number of incidents that are happening across various times during the day. So one application could be, you can look at the peaks of incidents that may be occurring more frequently at a particular time period, and then strengthen precautionary measures during this particular time period so that you reduce such incidents. A further detail on incidents is also given by the incident type bar chart here, which talks about the various types of incidents that are occurring. And adjacent to it, we also have the incident location. So maybe one particular location could be, contributing towards more than 30-40% of your incidents. You can just focus on this particular location as a provider, and then, take preventive measures so that the number of incidents are lowered. This is how, incident management actually helps in giving a holistic care to the resident and preventing more incidents from happening. Moving on, this is one final dashboard screen which talks about some of the quality metrics. So in this particular screen, we just have two quality metrics that the organization has defined, which is the emergency visits and rejected care. In emergency visits, we have a bar graph that describes the number of ER visits that are happening throughout the year in different months. And under it, we also have the ER percentage versus the total census versus the goal of emergency visits. You can see the goal is a straight blue line, while the actual percentage is a light blue line, which has been moving up and down the goal. So these actually provide information in terms of how you're performing with respect to your goals, and help you evaluate where you're going wrong, to make sure that you take preemptive action so that you're always achieving your goals. Similarly, we have uh, the same information for rejected care, which talks about the rejected care incidents and also how it's performing with respect to your goal. Apart from this, there are multiple other screens in the quality metrics dashboard too, which talk about the medications used, the number of antidepressants, and other medication, and how you're performing with the national average versus your other providers, and generally what's the industry trend. So these kind of inputs, help you uh, keep abreast. Help you keep yourself on toes in terms of managing resident care. So like I mentioned, all these dashboards, they use data from different software systems in your organization. And even in cases where it's required, we even combine data from different software systems to create one centralized dashboard. So usually what happens is, these different software systems, they provide APIs, which are application programming interfaces that act as a gateway of communication for us to communicate with the software systems. and we extract data through APIs. However, in certain cases, I mean, in our experience, we've noticed that some software, they do not offer APIs. Even in such situations, we were able to devise a solution by leveraging data relay to obtain, log files in FTP folder, constantly update them, move them into a database, which finally acts as a backbone for, the Power BI or Tableau dashboards. So all this, shipping of data is done by a bot, and this occurs in a secured and automated way. So to reiterate, the data consolidation can happen across multiple software systems. Once the data consolidation happens, we analyze the data, use predictive modeling or machine learning if required, and then get it in the form of a dashboard, visually appealing dashboards that gives you rich insights and enables faster decision making. Apart from this, these dashboards, they are created or based on user permission architecture. So this will make sure that not everybody has the entire access to all the data. It gives specific access based on the role of the particular user. And the good thing about this is it also eliminates the need for creating new dashboards. Now I'll just take you through a case study that we've done, that has been published in Leading Edge, and we've done with a very large senior care provider, which is United Methodist Communities. So here we've performed analysis like historical occupancy trend analysis. So this, this analysis is generally helpful in terms of identifying your seasonal patterns, identifying maybe peaks and the low points in your trends, so that you can improve your staffing capacity or adjust it as per your needs. And this also helps your marketing team get insights into how you can better handle your marketing campaign management to get more leads in maybe downtime periods. Then we also performed a census analysis across various service lines. We also have a trend analysis with respect to payer type. So this will help you understand your payer mix, also identify what kind of payer types are, currently most of the residents using, and it will help you craft strategies that will, through which you can retain the most attractive payer type. Then we also have invoice analysis that will help you understand the financial, which will help you optimize the financial accounting in your organization. And account payable analysis plays a crucial role in terms of maintaining good vendor relationship with different vendors, so that your payments are on time and all operations run smoothly. Then we also have a revenue growth summary that will help you track your revenue trajectory and also forecast revenue for further periods, so that your budgeting happens in a streamlined fashion. In the end, there's also analysis of donations received. So this analysis generally gives insights into how your donations have been. It gives you insights into your donors' demographic mix, and how you can better engage and nurture relationships with your donors to optimize your fundraising events to get the best donation amount. So that's it for the webinar today. So we've been aggressively participating in various events. So this is our team. This is at Leading Edge conference. Apart from analytics, we are also hugely focusing on automation, and how automation helps senior care providers streamline their back office operation, and in turn provide a better resident care, driving a lot of value to the residents. So I'll just open up the I'll just open up the floor for question and answers.
Okay, we have one question here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with the first question. There's a lot of sensitive data, sensitive patient data. How do you ensure that the data is safe?
So usually the data doesn't get out of your network. We access the data through a virtual machine that is hosted on your own server. And we create the dashboard through this virtual machine. Moreover, like I mentioned, these dashboards that are created, they have access privileges based on the role of the user, so that it ensures robust security. Uh, any other questions?
Okay, there is another question. Are there any restrictions in terms of what ERP or software you can work with?
So I mean, we have seen multiple software systems I have shown across various departments. There's actually no restriction in terms of the software we use. We can, use any different kind of software for extracting the data. We can even use, like I said, multiple different software systems to, even combine the data sources and create a useful dashboard.
What is? Yeah, this is last question. One more question. What is the typical engagement timeline for creating a dashboard?
So the typical engagement timeline actually varies on the dashboard requirement. So it basically revolves around how comprehensive the dashboard is, how many functions we are, kind of engaging with or creating the dashboards for. And it also depends on some technical details on whether or not we have, API access, or we have to take some other route to, get the data from these software systems. So there is no definite time period as such.
Okay. Thank you, Sriraj. Thank you for your valuable time and insights. We have very less time left for the session to get over. Yeah.
So you can actually get in touch if you have more questions. Thank you all for joining in today, and we'll end the webinar session now.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you.